All right, so today marks the beginning of a journey that I want to share with you. See, I just was asked to start marketing for two service based businesses. Well, technically three. One is a concrete cutting business, and one is an environmental services business. And by environmental service, I mean like they do things like tank cleaning, hydro excavation, have the big air vac trucks, all this stuff. It's very much they're both very much in the B2B space. So they market towards other businesses, contractors, industrial plants, municipalities, things like that. So I've been tasked to sort of bring their marketing efforts into the modern area. Granted, it is the B2B space, so it is a very much a relationship game. But if we can take their marketing from where it is now, their digital presence from where it is now, and take it up, you know, get it up to a level of sophistication and just a level of excellence, it'll I think it'll help shorten the gap between their customers saying yes and even finding new customers and expanding into new areas. So with that, if you're running a trades business and you know how challenging marketing can be, I think some of these videos will apply to you. And not just relying on word of mouth, but actually building out some marketing systems, some marketing, basic digital marketing at first. That's where I'm kind of uncovering and really getting out there so you don't have to rely just on word of mouth, right? So I just want to jump in, and I just had the first meeting with these guys yesterday, and I kind of want to go over what we went over, what I learned, and maybe you can apply it to your business moving forward, right? So first of all, a lot of trades businesses, especially in the B2B space, are very much word of mouth referral, which is great and it's awesome. We love getting referrals, right? But what if that is like limiting our potential? What if we only see what is directly in front of us? So you only see the supervisors you meet in the field. You only see the other companies that are on site. What if there is just more out there, but you don't see it because you don't know what's out there because you're always in the field, right? So what if we were to put some, to sort of reshape our mindset around that and put in the marketing machine, the presence online, so you can find new avenues for generating more money, finding new leads, getting in good maybe with somebody who is on site who wants to know more about you, but they don't want to talk to you. They just want to go check out your website. Not relying solely on reputation would be great. Reputation's awesome. We want to keep doing that. But what does it look like to not only to enhance reputation, but have digital reputation as well, right? So just kind of going over what we talked about at the meeting, I identified a few different things that might be helpful to y'all as well. So we're gonna first and foremost, so we want to do things first. So the first step is not really going straight into ads or building out your website. It's really understanding where your opportunities already are. So for the concrete cutting business, for instance, we've identified specific geographic areas where they want to expand, right? So, they're already kind of, at least in our mind, we're already kind of dominating one particular area, but how can we go out to different areas, a couple hours north, a couple hours east, and really expand to those areas and find new customers out there, right? And new territories, new plants to work out, that sort of thing. But equally important is maybe knowing where not to expand. Say if there's a bigger market, higher competition, lower wages, or lower fees for your service, maybe you don't want to go there and compete with these other guys. I don't know. So that's just something to consider. Consider where you want to grow and how you want to grow. Some questions to ask yourself there are: who are the current players in those markets? What's the demand for the services there? And do you have any existing relationships that could help you enter? The thing you have to remember about this is that marketing is not just your website or an ad or email list. Marketing is everything. Marketing is outreach. Marketing and sales kind of go hand in hand, but marketing really is like just making sure there's a touch point, and that can be a physical touch point. It can be how you interact with people. I don't want to confuse marketing. Marketing and branding kind of go hand in hand. They all work together. But branding and marketing really is anytime somebody comes into contact with your brand, that in and of itself is a form of marketing. So even if it is word of mouth is a marketing strategy. So we want to make sure we um, really, optimize that as best as possible. So yeah, do you have any existing relationships that could help you enter into these new markets? So start thinking about those things. So next thing we kind of went over that I want to bring up to you that might be helpful is know your most profitable services. So you might have heard of the 80-20 principle. When it comes to life, it usually is like 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. So same thing goes with business. If you look at your numbers, you'll probably see that, all right, we get most of our money from this amount of work, right? From only 20% of our work. And for them, for instance, one of their services they want to start promoting because they get big ticket items off of it is wire saw cutting. It's this huge machine that uses like a wire to cut concrete out of concrete, basically. And that right there, one of those jobs could easily be a six-figure job, whereas some of their smaller offerings, like they call it coring, right, where they saw out little holes in the concrete. Those are only, few $100s or whatever for a job. So they'd rather make money off of these big ticket items and really focus that in their marketing. So that's one side. And also with the environmental services, one of their core offerings is really like focusing in on industrial cleanups. So a paper plant or something like that, where they want to go in and clean up for like weeks at a time. Those are higher ticket offerings as well, and they really want to focus on that because it generates the most revenue. So yeah, so really just know your most profitable services, and so we can focus, so you can figure out how to use your marketing efforts to focus those offerings. Still have the other offerings in your back pocket, obviously, but when it comes to actually seeing what you want to advertise or what you want to promote or how you want your people in the field to talk, these are the things you want to really focus on. So action step here: analyze your services by profitability and competition. Identify the top 2-3 services. Have the highest profit margins. Identify the top 2-3 services that have the highest profit margins, are specialized or technically difficult, solve real problems for customers, aren't oversaturated in your market. So really you want to have stuff that differentiates you, right? So which moves on to my next step, is my next sort of theme that we talked about, which is differentiate. What can you do to be different in your market? This can be based on price, this can be based on speed, this can be based on a lot of things really, but really what is something that makes you different that you think clients would hire you for, right? That could be the separator for you. And you're not going to attract all clients. Certain clients are going to value things over other stuff. If you're of the type who's cheaper, you'll have a client who is cheaper. You may not necessarily want those, so that's another debate for another day. So in this meeting, we kind of uncovered that our concrete cutting company isn't just selling concrete cutting. What they're actually selling is convenience and speed. One of the instances was, if they have to remove some concrete on a job, if a contractor has to remove some concrete on a job, if they try to do it themselves, they get jackhammers in there, they'll get shovels, whatever. They'll just start hacking away at themselves. They overwork their guys. They probably, will spend a week on something that gets them really nowhere, has a lot of mess to clean up. Whereas these guys can come in, do the same exact job in 4 hours or half a day or whatever. The selling point there is like, we can come in and do it really fast, and we're going to be there on time, and we're going to be there really efficiently, and it's going to be worth it because it is just going to rock your socks off, and you can just go home and sleep better at night knowing that this is done. So every trades business needs to identify what truly sets them apart. Is it speed, quality, specialized equipment? Again, with this concrete cutting company, they have some specialized equipment that's only found in the area, so we want to boost that a little bit. And is it the ability to handle complex projects? This needs to kind of become a cornerstone of your marketing because it will be the thing. The reason why it's different, because it's a pattern interrupt. People will remember you better if you have something that sticks out for them. So action step: ask your best customers why they chose you, and their answers might surprise you first of all, and this could reveal your true competitive advantage. All right, next up. Let's talk about marketing and materials. Yeah, so we discussed specific marketing materials needed for these businesses. The key takeaway is that less is more. In the past, they have used like huge pamphlets and pitch decks and stuff to sell their services out in the field. Like, oh, here's my pamphlet or whatever. And most of the time, these things they can be complex, hard to read. Not hard to read, but just a lot of words. So what ends up happening with those is that they get thrown in the trash can. So we need to simplify some handouts in the field so our sales team and some of our supervisors out in the field can have, or if they meet somebody new, another contractor, another person in a horizontal industry or whatever it is that would hire us, they can just hand it to them. And it might be a little bit bigger than a business card, so it doesn't get shuffled away, but not quite a big sheet with a bunch of stuff on it. But like, hey, edge concrete cutting, we cut concrete fast, simple, easy, blah, 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 call us for a quote. Just something they can remember you by, and put a little QR code on it so they can find out more information on your website. We'll talk about websites later or another video, but really just make it easy for them to understand and take that next step. Or maybe even I might even put a magnet on it or something too, so they can stick it in their truck or on their refrigerator or something. I'm still figuring that out. So yeah, so don't worry about brochures right now. They're great if you feel like people are going to request it. But if it's just out in the field, let's just simplify the handouts. Let's do professional, put some professional before and after pictures on there, QR codes like I mentioned, and maybe a couple of either case studies or of some projects you did, or have some client testimonials on there, like 2 or 3, to show proof of social proof. So remember, your potential customers are busy people who want to quickly understand if you can solve their problem. All right, we in this meeting too, we also went over digital presence. It was a long meeting, let's put it this way, but we're wrapping up, I promise you. So let's talk a little bit about digital presence essentials. So both of these companies, the websites are they're just not there. They're online. You can find them if you look for them, but you have to know what you're looking for. They're not searchable by Google. You can't type in I need a hydrovac truck to clean out my tank. Who can it be? They're like 4 pages deep. It's not very good right now. So I hope to go in and clean that up. Both companies need to improve their online presence in general. It's just a website right now for the sake of having a website. We want this thing to actually go to work, right? So for trades businesses, for business like this, you don't need a fancy website. You don't need to go all crazy and stuff with bells and whistles, but you need one that's going to be clear and definitely have services on there. Show your service area. Provide a very easy way to contact you. Usually, probably a form. Maybe even a couple buttons that say get a quote, or you could put your phone number on there, but we really want to try to capture emails at first. Also, we want to put some testimonials on there. We want to put some keywords in there, and really just it's all SEO is the game with this, right? Especially local SEO. We want to make sure SEO is search engine optimization. So anytime you go on Google, if somebody types in a question like, how do I clean out my industrial tank or whatever, or who's a trusted concrete cutting business here in the area, these websites will pop up. They won't be buried. So you have to build some stuff on the back end of these websites for Google to really look for this. So we gotta put in some keywords. We gotta find some keywords for this area. That's what we're gonna be doing next. And then we're gonna be optimizing their Google business profile, because a lot of times too, when you do a Google search, one of the first things that pops up is the Google business profile, which has like ratings. It has your address. I got stuff on my hands. It has the services you provide, some images, things like that. So those are all very important. So get that in line. Get your digital presence in line, at least a basic Google digital presence, so people know where to find you and what you are. So I'll be moving into more detail in coming videos. So subscribe, stay tuned if you want to check that out. So next steps, what's coming up? So after all that, I'm going to be assessing everything and establishing some KPIs, some key performance indicators of like, all right, how can we take the website from where it is? Let's say it's a 2 out of 10 right now. How can we get it to an 8, a 9, a 10 out of 10? Not only on a design level, but also on a SEO level, search engine optimization level, usability level, all that stuff. Mainly those two though, design and search engine optimization. And how do we bulk up the websites too? I'm not usually a big fan of bulky websites, especially when it comes to the world of like personal branding and stuff. But when it comes to services, we need a bigger website with service pages that sort of break into detail what these services are. Yeah, so that's going to come up in probably in a few videos before. Also, I'll be talking about some of the marketing materials we're going to make, some of these handouts. I can kind of give you an overview of the handouts we're going to make, how we're going to improve the online presence. So if you're in the trades and you want to grow beyond just word of mouth, subscribe or follow the journey here. I'm going to start posting this probably 1 to 2 times a week, really for myself to document the process and provide any resources I can to whoever wants to have them, because I believe that what you guys do in the trades is essential, and I'm just here to help the economy and get things cooking. If you happen to stumble across this video, what marketing challenges are you facing right now? And let me know in the comments or shoot me an email and I'll let you know and I'll respond back. So I'll be documenting everything, my successes, my failures, and you can learn alongside with this. So thanks for watching, and in the next video I'll be putting together probably the key performance indicators and just an action plan in general moving forward. So thanks.